Imagine you have a house. You've got all the documents proving your ownership to that house. It's a home that your father had left for you, that his father had left for him. All of your neighbors know you and know that this is your house. It's a large house. Over the many years that you've lived there, you've let others stay with you in the available rooms, and all had lived together in peace. One day you return home to find that many parts of your house have been set on fire. The rest of your family, including the children, have either been killed or thrown to the street. They sob from the atrocity and wait for you to return home to help them. As you approach the house, you realize that several of your housemates, whom you lived with peacefully, are now holding guns to you from the windows of your own home. "Don't come closer. If you come any closer, you will be shot and killed," they threaten. Why, you ask? What happened? We believe that our ancestors lived here 2,600 years ago, hence a part of this house is ours. In disbelief, you ask, "Wait a minute. Nobody knows what happened 2,600 years ago. This is a house I legally own and live in today. I have all the documents. My neighbors know that it's a home I've lived in for my entire life. Whoever lived on these lands 2,600 years ago is up for debate, and even if it were true, it has nothing to do with my house. This is my private, legally owned property. In fact, many different people were living here to date, but you just burnt their rooms and killed them and kicked the rest away." In response, you hear, "We absolutely don't care about your facts and arguments. Leave. These rooms are now ours." How would you react to this situation? Perhaps many of you have already understood what this video today is about. Our topic is related to the most pressing problem in our region today: the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Our team has never condoned war and bloodshed. We don't think that any normal civil person would ever condone such things. But noticing how Armenian celebrities, together with their media connections, are doing everything possible to relay a distorted narrative of the realities of this conflict, we've decided that it is crucial to convey the truth to our audience through this video. Do you know what really is going on between Azerbaijan and Armenia? At the beginning of the 1990s, the Armenian armed forces, in a span of several years, invaded and occupied not only the territory of Nagorno-Karabakh, which they believed to be theirs, but also 7 Azerbaijani regions. These regions have no relation to Nagorno-Karabakh, and even Armenia itself had never previously contested them. Absolutely all of the 7 regions in Nagorno-Karabakh itself are internationally and UN recognized as sovereign territories of Azerbaijan. Not only did the Armenians fight the Azerbaijani army on Azerbaijani territory, they also forcibly displaced 1 million Azerbaijani refugees out of their homes. Those 1 million refugees had spent years afterwards living in tents and abandoned buildings all over the country. And these 1 million refugees are still waiting for the day when they'll be able to return to their native lands, to the comfort and coziness of their homes, which for the most of us is an ordinary everyday matter. You may ask how we know all of this. We know this because most of our team members are Azerbaijanis, living across different countries. And the wife of one of the creators of this video was born in one of the most prominent cities in Karabakh, the cradle of Azerbaijani culture, the city of Shusha. This city remains under occupation. Another member of our team remembers going to school, where half of his school served as a shelter for Azerbaijani refugees, and how every day he would shudder from the fact that families lived in classrooms next to the kids attending school. Therefore, we decided that it is our duty to reasonably and objectively tell everything that is happening in the region. And so, for almost 30 years, all of these lands have been occupied by Armenia. The Armenian government justifying its atrocities by saying that only ethnic Armenians live in these lands, they want to have their own state, and we shouldn't be involved in their affairs. The population of all Armenia is 2,900,000 people. According to 2015 data, only 145,053 people live in Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 occupied territories. Let us remind you that in the 1990s, officially 1 million people were ethnically cleansed from there with weapons and force. That is, only 145,000 people now live in the territory from which 1 million people were forcibly displaced. Why is it necessary to do so? Only the Armenian government knows. The Armenian leadership propagandizes that if Azerbaijan returns Nagorno-Karabakh, then the entire Armenian population of Karabakh will be in danger. Through this video, we are appealing to the Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh and to the people all over the world. While not a single Azerbaijanis currently lives in Armenia, there are 30,000 Armenians living in Azerbaijan today. And not only Armenians, a very large number of Russians, Jews, Avars, Talyish, and people of 40 other nationalities and various religions live in Azerbaijan. They consider Azerbaijan their home and live in their native lands. As an example, the girlfriend of one of the team members is an Orthodox Azerbaijani. Many of our friends have told us stories of parting with their Armenian friends with tears in their eyes during the war. Azerbaijanis and Armenians lived in peace for years. Doesn't this tell you that ethnic Armenians can continue living within Azerbaijan? We are confident that people who currently live in Karabakh will be able to live there and become citizens of Azerbaijan, and this is also the official position of the country. Besides, the Armenian government claims that Nagorno-Karabakh is an independent republic, and all of the negotiations must be conducted with it separately. But why is Nagorno-Karabakh not recognized by any country? Not a single official international organization, and not even Armenia itself, have recognized Nagorno-Karabakh as an independent state. Not only Nagorno-Karabakh, but also the 7 occupied Azerbaijani regions that have nothing to do with Nagorno-Karabakh. Now, the Armenian government and the Armenian diaspora claim that Azerbaijan has attacked their country. But if this is so, then why the largest respected international organization, the United Nations, who members 193 countries in the world, including, by the way, Armenia, adopted 4 resolutions numbered 822, 853, 874, and 884 demanding Armenian forces' immediate withdrawal from the internationally recognized territories of Azerbaijan? We all understand perfectly that an organization of such caliber, one that includes members of 193 countries of the world, will never adopt a resolution without a legal and moral ground for such a decision. Which means that at the moment, Azerbaijan is not at war with any state. Azerbaijan is liberating its own territories from an illegal, internationally condemned military occupation. And for the last 27 years, Azerbaijan has waited for Armenia to obey the international community and leave the territory of Azerbaijan. For 27 years, Azerbaijan had attended conflict resolution talks, hoping to avoid war, further bloodshed, and hoping to reach a peaceful conclusion for the liberation of its occupied territories. But as illustrated in this example with the house at the beginning of this video, what would you do if your house got occupied by armed intruders? Where even after numerous official court decisions confirming this house as your private property, your home, confirming that the armed intruders must withdraw from it, after all the neighbors in the houses nearby confirm your absolute ownership of this house and that it needs to be freed from armed intruders, and after 27 years it still remains under an illegal occupation, what would you do in this case? If you tried to fight the intruders after 27 years in order to get your home back, would you be wrong? For us to have peace, we must receive justice. And for justice, we must, all of us together, demand the Armenian government and the Armenian military to leave the territories that don't belong to them, the land from which 1 million people were expelled. We live in the 21st century. Let's not spill blood.